up, everybody? It's the Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley rematch. We're doing the watch-along, the co-main event. Not the main event. The co-main event is about to start. AJ's here. Freddie's here. Let's go. Start. Bong. What's up, dudes?
Bing bong. What's up, homie?
New intro.
Yeah, it's good, right?
I like it, man.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I like the music.
And listen, just to let everybody know, this is a watch-along, man. We're not showing the fight, man. We can't.
Yeah. That's right.
So don't get
Correct.
pissed off at us. Don't call us a bunch of hacks. You know?
Well, I mean, you could do that because AJ's on the show, so it makes sense if you said, there's a hack or two, maybe. I don't know. We are going to watch this stuff. I haven't been watching any of these fights. I know that there was an NFL guy fighting a soccer player or something before. I don't know. I wasn't watching.
NBA.
Yeah.
It was a good
NBA
fight,
versus
actually.
NFL.
What happened?
Me and Freddie were laughing.
I mean, it was a freak show. It was a freak show. It was interesting. I wouldn't say it's a good fight, but it was interesting. It was funny. At some point, there was a lot of pushing and shoving, which is not really boxing. And my biggest takeaway is that the ref got frustrated pretty early, and he just wanted these two guys to knock each other out. He tried to let them fight as much as possible because there was a lot of clinch and all that, and the ref at some point just stopped breaking them up. He just said, all right, go fight in the clinch. But nobody knocked out anybody, and I bet the ref was the most disappointed. There was a knockdown, but nobody knocked out anybody. Yeah, it went to decision. Exactly. That's what I mean.
Well, that's the biggest joke out of it all. I mean, after a knockdown, and it was a pretty one-sided fight, in my opinion. How it went to decision or a split decision, it doesn't make any logical sense. But yeah, that's boxing for you. But like Freddie was saying, the hardest part of that fight between Williams and Gore wasn't basketball versus football. It was really the ref not to get knocked out, because when these guys were in the clinch at heavyweight, man. A ref to get in there can get knocked out. And this was the fight where I was like, oh man, ref is gonna get hurt. And it came close a few times. I mean, we saw two-legged pull downs in this fight. It would have been perfect for an MMA fight.
Two-legged pull downs. What is a two-legged pull down?
Because I don't want to say
that from MMA expert.
Fight.
Yeah,
it was just. It wasn't an MMA fight. It was a boxing fight. I don't want to say a takedown, but it was like a two-legged.
I'll tell you, it wasn't really a takedown either.
Yeah, it was.
It was an awful double leg.
Pull down.
Call it that.
It was. Yeah, it was awful.
I guess. Awful double leg from Frank Gore.
Frank Gore. Okay.
He kept going for a double leg.
Like a football tackle.
And Williams would just shove him away because he was tired after one round, man. That's what people don't realize. These two guys are athletes. Frank Gore, I think, played last year in the NFL, so he's not that far away from his NFL career. But fucking doing 3 minutes of boxing is not easy. 5 minutes of MMA, that's hard. Fighting is hard, not easy. These guys... They don't respect it, or I don't know, man. But after the first round, man, both guys were slowing down, and especially Gore.
Wow.
Well, actually, Freddie, there was a lot of respect because Williams said at the end, after he won and whatnot, he just simply said, listen, this sport's not for me. Leave it to the professionals. And that's what boxing is. Boxing is a technical sport. It's a science. This is more of a brawl that we kind of see a rock 'em, sock 'em, like one of these old days of you fight for a keg of beer kind of thing. That's the type of fight it was. It was funny. There was some action, but really for real boxing experts or people that love the game of boxing, to them it's a joke. And look, it's
even for me, it was a joke.
Jake Paul. It was a joke for me too. But you know what? It was nice to see in some sense because you want some entertainment on this shitty COVID year on a Saturday night. But regardless, man. We'll see what happens. This is a real boxing match that's coming up right now between Amanda Serrano and Miriam Gutierrez. This is 10 rounds. These are real boxers. She's 41-1, man, Amanda. And like we were looking earlier, I told Freddie, I said, I saw this girl in MMA, and in fact, she did have 3 MMA fights. She's two wins by submission and 1 decision. So this girl knows how to fight. Here we go.
Oh, man, Serrano is whooping that ass already. This fight's not going to last very long, which is exactly what I want to see because I want to get to this Jake Paul thing already. Let's keep it going. Where'd Fred go?
Freddie, what happened? Did
I'm
he
here.
pass
You
out
hear
again,
me?
man?
Yeah, I don't see you.
Did you get that two-legged
for a couple of...
pull down?
No,
Can you let me answer? For a second, I lost the sound, and then I was going to reset, but then you guys came back, so I'm going to reset right now.
All right. Wow, that's weird. Fred disappeared.
Freddy
He
in
like
the dark,
went dark.
man.
Fred will be back.
Kind of like AJ in the dark in the days.
Ooh.
But anyways, man.
Yeah,
I
so
hope
Serrano
this
is
a fast fight.
destroying her in the first round. I think she might knock her out here. If not the first round, probably. Oh, but the other one's fighting back here. Gutierrez.
Man, what the hell?
This is a little crazy, but Serrano is just like
Just
going
dropping
wild.
those bombs.
Yeah, just throwing everything.
She's like a standing punching bag, Gutierrez. And look, she doesn't have a bad record. She's 14-1.
Well,
she has 5 knockouts. But man, Serrano has 30 knockouts. She's 41-1 and 1. Holy smokes, man. Well,
we got Fred back.
Easier game for the ref.
I'm hearing
Freddie,
somebody's
welcome
TV.
back, man.
Somebody's got their TV sound on. Is that Fred? There you go. Fred.
Why you gotta be the TV Nazi, man?
Well, I mean, let's not bring Nazis
No
into
TV
this.
sound for you.
I don't know why we have
No
to
TV
bring...
sound for you.
Well, I mean, you know the rules of YouTube and so on.
Holy shit, man.
You're gonna tell me you don't have sound? You gonna tell me you don't have sound at home?
Thanks.
No, I got no sound. I can't hear anything.
You're lying.
I'm not. I don't have any sound. I could turn some sound on, and you probably still wouldn't pick it up on my excellent mics. See, I can hear right now, but you probably can't hear on the mic because it's in the studio.
That Serrano is...
Yeah, round 2 here
good,
for
man.
Serrano and
Holy shit.
Gutierrez. I watched the UFC tonight. I wasn't really watching this Jake Paul thing.
Oh, man, tonight's UFC action was unbelievable, man. What a beautiful card to end the year. Our hometown Quebec fighter, Jourdain, man, he came in, man, and what a fight he delivered, man. That was crazy, man. And you know what? If that's not one of the fight of the nights, I'll be shocked. Because it was insane, man. I'm happy for him. I'm happy the way he ended the fight with that Spartan kick and that whole thing of, just calling out his opponent. And I like the way he ended it with that interview, man. And he also had another interview in French with RDS. I don't know if you heard that one, Freddie, but, man, I'm telling you, everybody that I was with here, in the end, were like, man, this guy, Jourdain, is so he's so awesome. And he won a lot of fans tonight, man. Yeah, man.
It was a great fight, man.
It was awesome. But it was just
he's a fun fighter.
He is, man. He's good. He's
a fun fighter to watch. So I could see him, people have fans. We're from Montreal, so, we're like, oh, yeah, we want to see Jourdain. But his style of fighting is appealing for everybody. So these type of fights are what makes a name for you in the UFC. And good for him, man. Props. Big win.
He was super intense. The intensity was awesome from Jourdain tonight. Just yelling at the guy, kicking, and then at the end,
also.
Yeah, and the pressure that he put on him, man, it was really impressive that he could keep that kind of pace for 15 minutes. He really took it to a very impressive fight from Charles Jourdain, and I really liked the last kick that he threw there in the final second of the fight. The push kick that dropped him, and it dropped him, and then he screamed, and he was all intense. Man, it was a hell of a performance from Charles Jourdain. Maybe the greatest performance in his career so far. It was really, really big win for him tonight on the UFC show there in the Apex.
What was funny is that the last kick. What's that, Freddie?
I was going to say that was his last fight, I think, on his contract. So good way
it was.
Go into negotiation.
I think he said on RDS that he's getting an extended contract. But what I was going to say at the end was that I sent Fabio and Jourdain a message right after the fight, and I sent out this sort of picture with him with the Spartan kick, and I said, "We are Sparta." So I put that out to Fabio and them, and they've been using that thing. I don't know if you've heard them. They've done a picture and they're using the word Sparta. I mean, it's awesome. And remember, it came from Ringside Report, man.
There you go. Of course, I saw Fabio Holanda there in Jourdain's corner, and I think I saw David Zilberman too. Was that?
Yeah, David Zilberman was there,
too?
man. Montreal
Nice.
Wrestling Club, one of the best wrestlers in Canada.
That's
one of the best
good
coaches
corner.
in Canada.
That's a good grappling corner
smokes.
for you right there, Fabio
Jesus.
and Zilberman. That's an excellent corner, and Jourdain. But I see Fabio and I see David, and I think, wow, those guys are such a great grappling corner. And Jourdain just keeps the fight standing and destroys the guy standing up.
Well,
It's impressive. Like, you can tell. I'm sure his ground game he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's serious, but he didn't have to use it that much. There were moments, I think it was in the second round, where he had him down and he was looking for a guillotine. He tried the mounted guillotine, but it slipped off. But, mostly he's fighting standing up, and he's dominant there tonight. It's nice.
But in his grappling defense, it was on the mark tonight. And in fact, when he went for that guillotine, he sort of slipped it under. He was trying to get the angle for the guillotine, but he used that guillotine sort of as a leverage, which is really smart, to get himself back up. So you would think he's going to go for the submission, but he used it as that anchor to pull himself up. So that's the thing with grappling. It's not only about the submission, it's to angle yourself in a certain way so you can get out of a bad position. And that position was for Jourdain to get back up and get back to what he does, is that stand-up game and those kicks and those knees. Those knees
really
are deadly, man.
In a bad position at that point. He
wasn't in a bad position.
Almost finishing the guy. He was destroying
Sure,
the guy.
and that guy was a black
round.
belt in jiu-jitsu too. His grappling is really good. So
yeah.
You know what?
Jourdain
Kudos to Jourdain.
He looked really good tonight. Derrick Lewis, of course, in the main event. Huge knockout in the first round. Classic Derrick Lewis, 3.5 minutes, knocks out Chris Dawkins. We all picked Derrick Lewis to win. We all took him by knockout to win this fight, and he comes through. He was actually the underdog in this fight, which is a little surprising. But Derrick Lewis comes through,
close, bud.
Picks up a big victory.
I came close. 7-fight parlay, man. I got 6 out of 7. I really thought I was making money tonight. I made a mistake. I should have known better, man. I should have not made a mistake and go against Mohammed, man. Don't go against the Mohammed. That was my biggest mistake. If I would have went with Mohammed Freddie, I would have got more than $300 on the Thompson fight for that 7-fight parlay. But I came close, man. 6 out of 7, guys.
But you didn't. So now stick to Derrick Lewis, man, and give him some props. What a knockout for Derrick Lewis. I like the combination of punches that he was throwing. I was going, Dawkins is going to go to sleep. Dawkins is going to go to sleep. And at the end, Lewis had a 3-punch combo that just knocked him out. And props to Derrick Lewis. Too bad that, well, not too bad, but Ngannou and Gane both have wins against Lewis, and it feels like, they're bad matchups for him. So they were talking about him being in the title picture. I don't know about all that, but Derrick Lewis is a fun fighter to watch, man. Another great performance. His interview at the end was a little weird. I'm not too sure what he was talking about when he said he was talking about throwing out somebody who was getting thrown out. I'm not sure, but a great fight by Derrick Lewis.
Well, there was a guy, actually, the reason the guy got thrown out, it was against Bilal. So some guy in the stands was actually screaming out in Arabic some really nasty words, and Bilal they actually.
No, I don't think that's what was happening.
No.
It wasn't a guy who was saying bad things in Arabic. He was saying something about Bilal, some racist things to him. I don't think it was an Arabic guy saying rude things.
No,
it
wasn't Arabic.
Was
no, Bilal said it was in Arabic.
No, that's not what he said. No, that's not what he said in the cage, AJ. You misunderstand a lot of things.
No. He spewed out something that the guy was.
Whatever. It doesn't really matter what the guy, what language the guy was speaking. The guy was saying some derogatory things to Bilal Muhammad, some sort of fan in the Apex, and was kicked out. That happened. Derrick Lewis threw his cup, his jockstrap, into the crowd as well.
And the fans look happy to have it.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you be happy to have it?
I'm not sure about that one.
Put some beer in that thing, drink out of it like Tai Tuivasa, baby. You've heard of
I'm not even
Shui.
sure I want to touch
That's
I want
ballsy.
to touch a hot dog with that after.
No.
Your hand's just been on his cup, and you're going to put a hot dog or something in your hands? Oh, I don't know, man. Not a fan of that.
Who has a hot dog after the main event's over? Who grabs a hot dog on the way out of the arena? What are you talking about?
Derrick Lewis, man. I can assure you, man. Derrick
You
Lewis
can't wash
will
your
grab
hands?
a few of them.
There's hand sanitizer everywhere, Fred. You're all right.
Listen, man, and not to take away.
At the Bell Center.
We're talking about Derrick Lewis, but let's not forget about Bilal. Bilal, pretty much, man, like every round he destroyed Thompson, man. That's not a joke, you know. Like I was impressed, and that guy is. You just realize how good he is after you see him the way he manhandled Thompson tonight. Like there was no way Thompson had any opportunity in any round. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was domination, man. It was one-sided from Bilal Muhammad. Takedown after takedown, and once he took him down, he kept him down. Great control. It was really a dominant performance, career performance again here from Bilal Muhammad. Really impressive, beating Wonder Boy. And Wonder Boy is still game and still dangerous, but Bilal completely nullified his game. Took him off his feet where he's most dangerous, kept him on the ground, and owned him there. It was very impressive.
He called out Leon Edwards and Usman, but these two are probably going to fight each other, so I'm not sure who's next for Muhammad. But also this week, I think I read that there's a good chance that Colby and Khamzat fight, man. So this is going to be a good matchups in the division. So who else is up there for Bilal? Who's available for him?
I don't know. Is that Colby Khamzat fight happening? Like, is that?
I'm reading rumors that it's.
Yeah, I saw a rumor.
It's not official, but like I'm reading rumors about it. So.
I'm seeing rumors too. That would be insane. I would love that. I would love to see that, but I don't know if that's going to go down.
I hope Colby takes it. Colby's not he's not backing down about anybody, man. Colby's going to fight.
I hope so. Colby seems game, man. He's ready to go. And he beats Khamzat, and then, that's a big win for him.
Exactly.
Big money fight. People would be very excited to see that. I'd be excited to see that. How could you be a fight fan right now and not want to see Colby Covington Khamzat Chimaev? Damn. That would be a hell of a fight. So, really impressive win for Bilal. Looking at the UFC welterweight division, like you said, Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman probably going to fight each other. If Colby Covington does fight Khamzat, I mean, Bilal versus Khamzat would have been fun. Bilal versus Colby would have been fun. How about Gilbert Burns? Have they fought yet? How about Vicente Luque? Those guys are players, too, at 170 pounds, right?
Big time.
Can't forget about those guys. Gilbert Burns, has he ever fought Bilal Muhammad? I don't think so.
No.
But the Leon Edwards fight makes sense because they had a fight, right? They did fight, and it ended real quick with the eye poke, right? It would be good to run that back. Man. I was kind of surprised they didn't do that immediately. They moved Leon Edwards over to fight with, Nate Diaz? I just saw Nate Diaz. You see Nate Diaz? Nate Diaz is at this Jake Paul fight. He's there with Jake Shields. They were there. Helwani interviewed them there on the broadcast. Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley, maybe Jake Paul's next opponent, Nate Diaz. So Nate is there. Man. Stockton in the house.
Well, we called that a while ago. That it would be amazing to see Jake Paul fight.
I think that would be great. Shout out to Sensible Fury. Shout out to Lauren. Shout out to Barry for subscribing. Thank you, Barry. Thank you to everybody watching us live on Twitch, on Facebook, on YouTube. The Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley fight. Coming up next, we are watching the co-main event of Amanda Serrano and Miriam Gutierrez. It looked at first like it was going to end real fast, but we're in the 6th round now. I thought this fight was going to end really fast, but Gutierrez is hanging in. She's getting beat up by Serrano, but she's tough. And she's
tough.
She's in this fight, and it's 6 of 10 rounds right
now. But
now.
Amanda is so fast, man. Like the combination she throws, man. The way she's able to get out of any punches that Gutierrez is trying to throw, man. It's just she's unbelievable. But yet she still hasn't knocked her out or
you can't help but mispronounce a name. Gutierrez.
No. I said it right, bud.
No, you didn't.
What do you sound? The way you say it sounds French. She's
Gutierrez.
Not French.
No, it's Spanish.
Actually, you know what she reminds me of?
Gutierrez. It's not Gutierrez.
No, now you're changing it, bud.
Gutierrez.
Exactly.
It's not Gutierrez.
No.
Gutierrez?
Listen,
You pronounce Gutierrez? Gutierrez?
Well, yeah, exactly. That's the way
Gutierrez.
you say it. It's about time you say it right, Dave.
That's not right. That's from making fun of you.
Listen, by the way,
Fred
Fred
Garcia. Settle the argument for me.
Gutierrez.
Thank you. It's not Gutierrez.
That's exactly what I said, man. What's your problem, man?
Gutierrez.
Am I speaking Japanese?
No.
Listen,
and you're not speaking Spanish either, cabron.
Listen, on another note, your cousin won tonight, man. Ricky Simon or Simon, which I
back
think
in the
said
family.
Simon,
He's
but
a
they call
Simon
it
again.
Simon.
No.
Damn, did he look good tonight, eh? Did he look good or what, man?
He looked great.
Smokes, man.
He looked great.
Looked great, man. And Sansao, man, he went down like he got shot. It was. I didn't think it was gonna end that fast, but hey, listen, man. It was a good fight. And if you look down at the rest of the card, man.
Darren Elkins went down pretty
Swanson
quick, too.
ended up winning.
Nice win by Cub Swanson. Looked amazing, knocking him out there in the first round.
You guys didn't believe me.
Yeah,
you guys didn't believe me.
Well, I called Juliana Pena last week, so deal with it.
That's true. You still got. You're still king of the hill.
I'm just gonna bring that
up
king of the hill. Anytime you say anything from now on.
Listen, don't trash talk me, man.
And I took Derrick Lewis by knockout too. And I showed you I won money. You don't actually put your money where your mouth is. I won money tonight on Derrick Lewis by knockout. Can't believe he was the underdog. And I told you on Thursday night that I thought that was the best bet for this fight card. The best bet. We all agreed Derrick Lewis over Chris Daukaus. The fact that Lewis was an underdog, taking him, especially with the knockout, very easy money. Man. I mean, Derrick Lewis now, he's got the most knockouts in the history of the UFC. Chris Daukaus, his last fight was against Shamil Abdurakhimov. Like, he's never fought anybody to the level of Derrick Lewis. He got TKO'd by a guy named Azuna Anyanwu. Try pronouncing that, AJ. He got knocked out by this guy in 2019. You don't think Derrick Lewis is going to knock him out too? That's what
he's going to knock him out, man.
I was just like, what?
The next week.
And then he did. And I was like, yeah, I was right. Then I won some money.
Listen. Dave, I'm going to give you some kudos here, man. You actually have, several knockout UFC pick wins over, our notable, legendary George St. Pierre, man. So if you're going against George's picks or Dave's picks, save your money. Go with Dave, man, because Dave is going to make you money. George, sorry, man, he's not winning. George, even if you're listening, man, you know I'm right, bud. You know I'm right.
Did he make bad picks? What was George's picks tonight?
George, I'm talking about last week's picks, man.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, he didn't have Juliana Pena.
You overshadowed him.
Yeah.
No, he didn't, man.
I mean, how could he?
And he had Poirier as well, and you were you were the king of the hill, man. So Dave versus George in pick'ems.
I saw Olivier Aubin, another Bet99 brother. He also does work with Bet99. He took Wonderboy and Daukaus. That was not the pick tonight, Olivier. Yeah.
No, sorry, Olivier, man.
We got to go with the Ringside Report.
Got shot down.
We were unanimous here on Ringside Report. Derrick Lewis by knockout. Yep. That was the move.
Listen, man.
I was surprised with Daukaus. I was surprised Daukaus was the favorite. I really didn't understand that at all. It's Derrick Lewis.
Me neither.
Oh, this girl's getting knocked out. Gutierrez is about to lose. I'm calling her Gutierrez now, AJ.
Jeez.
Forget it.
There you go. Care. Finally, you said it.
I mean, you're wrong.
Listen, you know what she reminds me of?
A joke.
She looks like the girl from The Big Bang Theory, man. Every time I look at her, I'm like, is that her?
I don't think I've ever seen an episode of The Big Bang Theory.
Come on, Dave. It's amazing, man.
No, I don't watch that.
Are you joking, guys?
No.
Unbelievable.
Isn't that like a sitcom for, senior citizens like yourself?
Who doesn't know Sheldon, man? Come on, guys. Senior citizens? Is that what you said?
Yeah. It's like on CBS or something.
This is a good
Who's
fight,
watching
man.
sitcoms on CBS anyways? It's like, how is that still happening?
Or PBS.
Finisher.
Some great documentaries.
Yeah, well, that's another situation altogether. It was a good UFC card tonight, man. I enjoyed watching that. Gerald Meerschaert, what a come-from-behind victory over Stoltzfus, or whatever his name is.
Wow,
man, that
Stoltzfus
was beating Meerschaert. Meerschaert lost 2 rounds, and he comes back with a rear naked choke in the third. It was really, really impressive stuff. Justin Tafa knocking out Harry Hunsucker. That was a big one. First round, big kick, big punches. Tafa's a monster.
Gamrot?
This guy, Tafa, first ever guy to weigh in over the heavyweight limit. He couldn't make 265. This is the first time this ever happened in the history of the UFC. No heavyweight has ever missed the 266 limit. Now, if you're fighting for a championship, you have to make the official heavyweight of 265. But if you're fighting a normal fight, as is the case for every UFC fight, if you're fighting for the title, you have to hit 185 or 155. If you're fighting like a everyday fight, you could go 186 or 156. You have a pound allowance in non-title fights. So this was a non-title fight. So he had 266. He couldn't make it. 267 was his official weight for the fight tonight. First time in the history of the UFC. I'm kind of surprised it's the first time it's ever happened.
I don't know how Brock Lesnar did it, to be honest, between me and you. I don't know how these guys were able to pull it off. I know, man, but, holy smokes, man. When you walk around at 300 pounds, it looks like, how do you do it, man? Think about it. It's 265, man.
Yeah, I'm an advocate of a super heavyweight division. I think guys like Shaq and Big Show and just monster guys like that should be allowed to fight in the UFC. Who doesn't want to see Shaq-sized men fight in the UFC? Right? How come we don't allow 400 pounders?
Okay.
I'm not saying that there's a lot of guys, Fred. I'm just saying that we should allow it. There should be a division for them, and we should try to recruit talent because people like Hongman Choi exist, and, maybe they'd like to fight again. Maybe Bob Sapp wants to fight again. Maybe Butterbean wants to fight again. We could put them in the UFC in some sort of weirdo super heavyweight tournament, start the division that way. Rampage is looking pretty fat. I think maybe he'd be in this tournament, Let's just fucking see.
Well, you gotta be mean to Rampage.
It's not a bad idea, man.
Well, I mean, did you see him against Fedor? It was bad. I lost money on him. I'm pissed off. He came in so overweight. I was so mad. What is he doing? Yeah.
Or you know
I'm saying it should exist. They should have super heavyweight guys in UFC.
Why not? Just let them fight in heavyweight.
Heavyweight should just be open weight.
It should be exactly. There shouldn't be a limit at 265. It doesn't matter if you're 300 pounds. I mean, when you've got that much weight, can you go the distance of 3 rounds? Are you able to keep up with the speed of guys that are less at 255, 265? Think of it. A Brock Lesnar at 265. If you're 300 pounds, do you think that makes a big difference? It doesn't make a huge difference.
Limit.
Brock will still be able to smash you.
Limit,
I don't know.
But
it helps.
Give me a cruiserweight.
Not no limit. Not a no limit.
No limit. Give me a cruiserweight at 230.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because the guy tonight that was Hunsucker came in at 235 or whatever, and he's fighting a guy that's 267. He's fighting a guy that's a full 30. I think it was 35. Pounds. I think it was 35 pounds. He might have been under 235. He was 230 or something. I don't know. It was 30, 35 pound difference. And if you had a fight in a lower weight division where one guy weighed 185 pounds and then the other guy weighed 155 pounds, and you said, who do you think's going to win? It'd be well, fucking the guy who has a 30-pound weight advantage, probably. And that's what happened tonight. Now, it's weird that doesn't always happen in the UFC, but it does help, right? A 30-pound weight advantage can definitely help you win a fight. The guy missed weight at heavyweight. Amazing. I love it.
Crazy, man.
Good for him.
But still can throw a head kick, right? Think about them. They're so big, but they can still get their leg above their shoulders. That's impressive. Derrick Lewis, did you see him when he took this kind of double step flying roundhouse? I mean, holy shit. When you see a guy that big throw a kick like that, thank God, it missed. Because if not, man, a kick like that to the face, anybody else, you're dead, man.
Yeah, Derrick Lewis, he made weight, though, and he's 6'3", 250, 260, maybe, 255. But Justin Tafa is 6 foot, 267. And he moves like a cat. It's pretty crazy. He's not even that tall. He's 6 foot tall, and he's 267 pounds and cutting weight. It's not like he didn't try. He tried to cut the weight. He couldn't get there, but he had all sorts of problems with his camp. He had to move around. A lot of issues.
Really?
Well, yeah, because he's coming from Australia, and everything's shut down over there, so he had a lot of trouble. He had to move around and find places to train. He had to leave the country, right? So it's been difficult for him, and that's why he missed the weight. Still came in ready to fight. Big knockout win for him. I like him. I like all those guys from Australia. Big, heavy swingers from Australia. Justin Tafa, Mark Hunt.
Australians love to swing.
You know what I mean? The Mark Hunt style fighter. Tafa says Mark Hunt is his favorite fighter, his inspiration, and you can see why. Even the Tai Tuivasa, he's got that style, from Australia. Just a big, kind of meaty, swinging guy. Those guys are fun to watch. Good chin, heavy hands. Who doesn't like to see that?
I trained this morning with my buddy, and we were saying, man, we both said we missed the K1 World Grand Prix. You remember those K1 tournaments?
New Year's Eve.
Those were fun because those were great kickboxing match, but at the same time you had big tough guys like Mark Hunt or Jerome LeBanner back in the days. You had some tough guys, Sammy Shield, Badr Hari. Those were the fun tournaments.
Listen, you had my coach too. You had Murillo Bustamante and those guys back in the days, man. It was ridiculous.
It was fun, man. I love those things. Overeem would go in sometimes.
Overeem, man.
That was fun, man.
It's ridiculous, man.
Jerome LeBanner. That guy was the best. He was fantastic. Yeah, those are good days, man. The K1 Grand Prix, the big open weight, heavyweight kickboxing tournament. It was fun, man. We don't have those fun New Year's Eve Japanese martial arts events like we used to have, right?
Did you say K1? I apologize, but I was thinking
he's thinking
Pride.
K1. All right. Well, K1, Dream, I remember used to have Dream, and what was there something before Dream?
Sengoku.
Sengoku too, but Dream would have the really cool New Year's Eve shows too for a while. That was fun.
I got it in front of me. Actually, the K1s didn't happen on New Year's Eve. The K1 were mostly in September. The tournament. You're mistaking with the Dynamite fight card they used to have on New Year's Eve, I think.
Well, that was fun too.
Yeah, all those events were great. Yeah.
People are asking us about the fight tonight. We're in the 10th round of the Gutierrez Serrano co-main event. We all think that Jake Paul is going to win again. Doug Hepburn asking, is tonight the night Paul loses? I don't think so. I think this fight is going to go very similar to how the last fight went. I mean, Woodley's got power. You never know, but I think Jake Paul has been in training camp for a fight. Woodley's taken this fight on short notice. I think Woodley loses this fight, maybe gets finished, but I think probably loses by decision again. That's my best guess, and that's what I said last time going into it, and that's what I said this time. So I'm going with Jake Paul by decision. Doug, I emailed you about those wrestling toys too, by the way, man. So let me know. Send me the toys. I'll send you something back. I got people all over finding the good wrestling toys for me. All right. So Doug,
Dave,
I sent you an email. Let me know. Huh?
I'm going to tell you something. I'm going with Jake Paul on this one because the last fight when Woodley was fighting, man, you remember that? It was like a nightmare for me, man. I couldn't believe that
mad.
Woodley lost.
You were big man.
I was so pissed, and I was so pissed that at this point, and I said it last time, I said, because Woodley lost, if they ever fight again, which we never thought that would happen, I said I'm going with Jake Paul. And looking at Jake Paul into his training camp and whatnot, man, this guy looks in top shape. There's no doubt about it. And I said that with all the money this guy has, he has the best coaches, the best boxing team, the best nutritionists, everything you can ask for, man. And Woodley looked good. He looked good at the weigh-in and whatnot. But man, I don't think he has what it takes to win a fight in boxing against Jake Paul, which is crazy to say. Talking about Jake Paul, I know that Angela and them used to freak out when we talk about Jake Paul. But I said that way back. I said, we're going to be talking so much about Jake Paul, he's going to be like a big name. And it's true, man. The guy's a big name, but he's able to back it up. He's beat two professional guys now. And if he wins tonight, it'll be 3 times, which I think he will win. But you know what? The thing with Woodley is that if it was an MMA fight, it'd be a different story. He would win in 2 minutes, hands down. You can't go toe-to-toe with Woodley's wrestling. Even though Jake Paul has, I think he has, Division II wrestling or something like that? He's had, wrestling background. But, that's a different story. Boxing to MMA, boxing, Jake Paul. MMA, No doubt about it. Tyron Woodley in less than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But, man, he looked like a ham the last fight. He looked like a bloody ham. I was so embarrassed, man. I was so embarrassed.
Yeah, you were really mad. I was not surprised at all. I was not surprised whatsoever with what happened. Jake Paul is legit. Jake Paul is legit, and he's much bigger than Woodley. I'd like to see Paul fight somebody who, I mean, just Woodley's last few fights in the UFC.
I want him to fight Nate Diaz.
Wasn't himself. Yeah, Nate Diaz, I think, would be a better opponent.
Small.
Nate is still smaller than Jake Paul. You know,
but he's a better boxer.
Nate is even smaller than Woodley. But he is a better boxer than Woodley, and I think that he still has more left in his fighting tank. Just the 5th round there against Leon Edwards, I feel like Nate had something there, and I think in a straight boxing match against a guy like Jake Paul, you know, it's a big, high-profile situation. I think Nate would get up for that, and I think Nate and Jake Paul would be a real interesting fight. The size difference, though, does bother me. I actually would prefer Nick, because Nick is a real 170, whereas Nate is more of a 155. So I think Nick Diaz is the fight for Jake Paul, and I think that Nick Diaz would beat Jake Paul in a boxing match. So that's kind of what I prefer. I think
even
a lot
out
of people...
shape, Nick? Even out of shape, Nick?
What was Nick's last fight? Didn't he come back and fight?
Against Robbie Lawler.
Yeah.
He lost to Robbie Lawler.
Yeah, he did, eh?
Because he quit because he was
but he looked
tired,
good,
man.
But he was looking good.
He looked good for a round, but what about like the second round? And how would that translate in boxing if Nick doesn't knock him out in round 1? Can he go like 8 rounds? Can Nick go 24 minutes right now? Not sure about that.
I don't know.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, maybe Nate. I don't know. I think they're both kind of at the tail end. Throw Connor in there, really. I think Connor's still, like, so angry. He's getting big and jacked. You see how giant Connor looks lately? Throw Connor in there. I think that would be fun.
I'm not sure why.
TRT,
why does Connor put
TRT Connor.
But, yeah, that I probably agree. But why? What's the goal? Like, does he want to fight at 170 being all bulked up? I'm not sure that's the smartest move. Like,
yeah, listen, I don't know. I don't know what Connor's doing exactly right now. I think Connor is doing Connor, and we'll see what happens. Like his next move, he's got so many options. Everybody wants to fight Conor McGregor, so I think Jake Paul, Dustin Poirier, Nate Diaz. Who knows? Floyd Mayweather. It could be any number of opponents. Mike Tyson. Who?
Pee Wee Herman. Gamrot tonight. Even I don't know what he said. I think he called him out as well.
No, he called out Michael Chandler. You just got confused.
I don't know, man.
You really don't understand post-fight interviews, eh? You really just you hear what you want to hear.
Yeah, man. It was at one of the fights they were calling out. I was just hearing it in the background, like calling out Connor. I don't know who it was, man, at that point. I thought it was Gamrot or it could have been, I don't know who the hell it was. It could have been anyone.
Yeah. So I am seeing Diego Perez saying Woodley rocked Jake in the 4th round there last fight. Yeah, he did. I mean, maybe Woodley lands a solid punch and puts Jake Paul out. I'd like to see it. I think that would be fun. I didn't put any kind of money.
That was controversial.
I put no money on this fight because I think Jake Paul's going to win, but I refuse to have enough confidence in him to put my actual money on him. I'm picking Jake Paul to win, but, I mean, I believe in Derrick Lewis. I put money on Derrick Lewis. I don't believe in Jake Paul. I just don't.
Listen,
I think he'll probably win, but I don't trust it. And I think Woodley could definitely beat him. And, yeah, I would like to see Woodley beat him, too. I think that would be funny.
Who wouldn't? But he's got a point there because in that 4th round when he rocked Jake, you saw Jake come over, and there was a lot of, like, controversy with certain people saying that Tyron Woodley sort of held him up so he wouldn't go down. And if you look at, like, different angles of that moment, I'm telling you, I know it's weird, but you can almost see, like, Tyron holding him. So anything could go. That's why right now there's $500,000 set for Tyron to, if he knocks out Jake Paul tonight, he gets $500,000. Because a lot of people were saying that apparently that was in the contract in the last fight that Tyron couldn't knock out Jake. So if you look at that 4th round, man, this guy Diego has a point. There was some kind of weirdness of, like, holding him. I wouldn't have held the bastard. I would have fucking thrown him down on the ground, pushed him down. And that's the difference. That's not a Tyron Woodley that fought in MMA.
Come on, man. If he had a chance to knock him out, he would have knocked him out. It's ridiculous. First of all, you can't have a clause. You cannot have a clause in a boxing contract that's a real professional fight. You can't have that where you can't knock the guy out, because that means that you're essentially throwing the fight, and that's illegal, and you can't do that. A. B. If he wanted, if he had,
that was the same thing. That was the same thing with Tyson's fight. There was no knockout rule there, so
that was an exhibition. There was no winner announced. It was an exhibition. The Woodley-Paul fight was a real fight. You can bet on it. You couldn't bet on the Tyson fight because there was no winner. You could bet on the Woodley and Paul fight because it's a professional boxing match. And in a professional boxing match, you can't have these rules where, oh, I'm not going to knock you out. It's illegal. You're throwing the fight if you do that, okay? And B,
so then why is he dropping $500,000?
Woodley wouldn't not knock him out because it's way more lucrative for him to knock him out and then force Jake Paul into a rematch or whatever. He becomes a bigger star if he knocks Jake Paul unconscious. So there's no reason why Woodley would abstain from knocking him out. So that theory is ridiculous. That's just more AJ nonsense, and I think we had to squash it right here.
Don't get mad at me.
Well, I'm just but don't blame it on me. It's a rumor that's nonsense, and you're the only one that I've ever heard talk about it. So I'm not getting mad at you. I'm squashing your bullshit.
At the messenger, bud.
I'm not mad. I'm saying it's dumb, and I'm shutting you down because it's a stupid thing that isn't true, and it's wrong.
Dave.
Why? You booing facts? You're another one, just booing the facts. People can't handle facts and numbers and truth, so they just boo or shut it down and walk away. That's the world we live in today. People don't want to know what's real, so they just turn their back and pretend it's not real. Face the facts, AJ.
Damn it, it's not working.
Yeah, you can't
my little boom meter, it's not working.
All right.
Stupid thing. Listen.
So there's a $500,000 bounty on Jake Paul's head. That is true. That's part of the contract if Woodley can knock out Jake Paul. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because there's so many silly people out there that believe that there was some sort of clause in the contract last time. So now they have to put a clause in the contract that says, oh, no, we really want him to be knocked out. Let's see this happen. I don't understand why that would be so, but seems like it. We're waiting for Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley to come out.
That belt?
I did see the belt, the most valuable boxer belt that was made for him. It looks very expensive. It was made by some sort of fancy artist. It's got fancy watches. The belt is nothing to me. I don't really care about the belt. It's another thing that Jake Paul has. He's a very wealthy man. He's got a lot of money, and he buys a lot of toys. It's just another toy, just another gimmick, just another chain for the Paul brothers. I don't really care about that. I am more interested in what these $1.2 million shorts look like. He said that his shorts for the fight will cost $1.2 million. I cannot imagine what that means. So I'm very excited. I have no idea, but I'm very excited to see what they're made of and what they are and what they look like. So that's exciting. $1.2 million on boxing shorts. It's pretty nuts. Also, I like the fact that Jake Paul gave Tyron Woodley a Rolex before this fight. Like a very expensive looking Rolex. Like, man. He gave him a very fancy watch on an interview that he did, a sit-down, one-on-one interview. Yeah, well, Woodley did take it. It's very expensive. It's a very nice gift, and Woodley seemed a little taken aback. And I think that's kind of mental warfare. Like, how do you knock the head off a guy who just gave you, like, a, $80,000 watch or something? Who knows how much that thing costs? It's definitely tens of thousands, I mean, but it softens you to the guy a little bit, like you can't outright hate a guy who just gives you this beautiful gift. Like, I think there's a part of you that's got to be like, well, I kind of like the guy a bit, you might hate him and he may have done terrible things, but if he gives you like a nice watch, leading up to the fight is very expensive. It's nice. I mean, it's a nice.
Screw it, man. You're not
gift.
Italian, man. It shows you're not Italian. I'm telling you. You see, that's the difference between being Italian and not. Since I'm Italian, I'd be like, give me that watch. Thank you very much, you motherfucker, because I'm going to go for the trilogy fight. I'm going to knock him out because that's where the money's going to come.
Well, yeah,
in
still
that third
try
fight.
and beat
You're
him.
too soft-spoken, man. That's what happens when you're, like, too Canadian. There's no soft spot, man. You see Rocky Balboa have any soft spot? No, Dave.
Rocky Balboa is not real. You know that, right? Are you aware that Rocky is a movie character, or are you just still living in that
Hush
fantasy?
your mouth there, Dave. Blasphemy. Can't believe it.
Spell blasphemy.
Can't.
Fucking dummy. What are you talking about?
Motherfucker, I'm going to knock you out. I'm going to knock you out, you little bastard.
Yeah. Come.
Listen. Somebody
I'm
says
worried.
he's a barber. I don't know if he's talking about my beard growth. I need some like good oils for my beard, man. Suggest some.
He's saying this show is every stage of beard growth. I see that. There's like nothing going on here, and then AJ is a bit, and then Freddie's like more fully developed.
Mine has to go because at this length, I find it's annoying when I do jiu-jitsu, man. When somebody tries to sinking a choke, man, it just gives like more grip. It's annoying. It has to go.
Beard gives you the opportunity to get staff. So like the more hair you have, the more chances of staff. Dave is pretty.
What's crazy is
okay, man.
I haven't shaved in like a week.
What? It's the Asian blood in you, man.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I can't actually. I have like no facial hair on the sides of my face here. It's just like the Fu Manchu style. That's all I have because my grandfather was half Vietnamese, and that's just how it worked out. I got the.
That's right, man.
But your brother has full facial hair.
Yeah, I know, but I just got the gene. I don't know. I mean, because when my facial hair grows out, it looks like what an Asian man's typical facial hair would look like. You know, I can't.
All right, man. You gotta not shave for at least 3 months, man. Come on, winter, man. For winter, it's too warm.
I had that recently, and you couldn't tell, Fred, because it wasn't that much going on. I'll do that, no problem. And you'll be like, beard, "Oh, okay." No, I had a beard, guys. You don't remember? It was recently.
I don't remember.
I had a beard. I had like all sorts of stuff here, and I had like a mustache and everything, and it was like a beard, and I had been growing it for like a good 2 or 3 months, and you didn't notice, and I shaved it all off, and nobody noticed because I can't grow a beard for shit. It's nothing.
Listen, the only time I know when you shave is when you shave your head. That's about it. But if you're telling me you had a beard, and I've come to your house a couple of times in the last month, I would have never known, bud.
Yeah, it was actually out of control by my standards. So,
hey, we've got a couple of barbers on our show. We've got Jason. We've got like who is the barber now? Polar Nights. I like that name. Polar Nights.
Shout out to Polar Nights.
Man, we're not going live, bud. We're not allowed to show it. It's illegal. So
yeah, we can't show the actual fight.
It's not our fault.
But we could show you
Why are they showing this press conference nonstop, man?
Tail of the tape. Look at that. Oh, wait a second. We lost AJ when I did that.
We lost AJ.
I think there's a way to bring him back.
It's okay. It's not the first time you banned me. How many guys get banned from their own show? One. You ever see Joe Rogan get banned from his show? No. AJ all the time. So far, I don't know. Let me think. Was I banned at all in the last 6 months? I think I was once.
You should be. You should be constantly banned. I think
so those shorts are like you're seeing him, like he's warming up here. Those shorts are worth how much? $1 million?
$1.2 million apparently. I didn't see the shorts. I didn't see him warming up yet.
He better not go to Naples with those shorts, man.
I don't know. Are we on a different? I'm seeing a video where they're talking.
Yeah.
I just saw him like hitting pads.
Oh, maybe that was happening.
That's what I saw, Freddie. I'm on there.
Jimmy Lennon is announcing them now.
Oh, maybe I was looking away from the TV.
Is it a full house tonight? Yeah, it's a full house there, eh? Holy smokes, man. Forget about the COVID rules like here in Quebec.
Tampa Bay, Florida.
Florida, baby.
Ladies. Look at those ladies.
I wish I lived in Florida.
Florida's the place to be, man. Anything goes.
So play-by-play, there's a brunette and a blonde next to the announcer.
What are you talking about?
Who cares about the announcer?
I don't want to hear what you're talking about.
I thought you were talking about Florida. That's the whole thing about. Oh, they're showing his shorts. They're so nice. Look at them.
This Quebec actress, this old Quebec actress, Jocelyn Cazin or something like that. She was on TVA the other day telling that she went to a restaurant in Florida and she started complaining to the owner that nobody had a mask, and she ended up getting banned from the restaurant. It was like no food for you. Yeah, and like TVA here, who fucking loves COVID, you know, they were making it look like, oh wow, people are crazy over there. But in the end, man, if you're a foreigner and you go tell the boss to how to run his business, man, you deserve to get banned. You dumb.
Like seriously, man, you're going to the United States of America, man.
Yeah.
Like seriously, you're going to Florida, man. Like, you know, that's DeSantis' country. Is she for real, man? That's ridiculous. But you know what? Sometimes just keep your mouth shut, man, and be hospitable. Be thank you to, like, you know, where you're going.
I love that he banned.
I agree. Thank you.
She's not Celine Dion. If she was Celine, she'd probably get away with it, but they still kick her out.
Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley. There's the tail of the tape, guys. Paul 4-0, Woodley 0-1 as a boxer.
And by tonight, he's going to be 0-2.
Yeah. We have the weight in kilograms. I don't know what that means. I think they're roughly the same weight.
You see what Douglas said? I love it. Oh, he had autocorrect. Oh, he probably had CC on it. He actually...
Doug didn't need autocorrect.
Whatever her name is, Siri said the right thing.
Doug didn't need autocorrect to spell blasphemy, AJ, but he just spelled it for you so that you didn't have to, or you didn't have to embarrass yourself trying to do it.
Well, Douglas is okay, man. Douglas won some big money last week.
P-H-E-M-Y.
Hey, London.
Right?
London, man.
I don't doubt you, Fred.
Freddie, quiet. Somebody's from London talking here. It's on our chat.
What do you can't say Freddie quiet. What do you mean Freddie quiet?
AJ quiet.
Yeah, AJ quiet. We just put AJ on timeout for doing that. You can't just say Freddie quiet. There's somebody from London speaking. What does that even mean? I know what it means. Man. Yeah, Fred's trying to spell here. Shout out to Anthony McDonough. He's in London. He's on the chat right now. Happy Christmas and Happy New Year to you, Anthony. Shout out to Anthony. Had to put AJ in timeout. Fred quiet.
I don't know, man.
No one shuts Fred down.
I feel like flip-flopping here, man.
What?
Tyron Woodley, man. I'm not sure, man.
I'm telling you. Now it's 2 times in the last 6 months. You think it's easy?
Who's the rapper for Woodley, Dave?
I don't know. I'm trying to listen.
It's Vanilla Ice.
Yeah.
No.
Eminem. Who is that? Is that like Tyron Woodley's brother? Who is that? Oh, that's Drake.
It's not Drake. My God. I have no idea who that is.
But put some real singer there.
Yeah, I don't know who this
guy
is.
John Cougar or something.
Maybe he's like a guy who raps with Tyron Woodley. I'm not really sure who this guy is.
Is that for real? Does he really rap, Tyrone?
Yeah, I think so. He tries to. It's certainly not Drake, AJ.
Oh, here he comes. Here he comes, man.
Yeah, he's coming out. Woodley's making his walk now to the ring.
Look at that, man. What an entrance, man. You don't see that in the UFC. I like their walkout.
Oh, it's Joyner Lucas. Okay.
Of
I don't
course.
recognize that
I knew it was
face.
Joyner.
I've heard of Joyner Lucas.
I like his running shoes.
Is he related to Wally Joyner, former first baseman for the Angels?
No, usually when people are related, Fred, they have the same last name, not first name and last name similar. It doesn't usually that's not usually how it works.
Woodley looks intense, man.
I like that AJ calls them running shoes and not sneakers. I like that. AJ. Keep that forever. Running shoes.
What's the difference?
I'd like if you called them tennis
shoes.
Well,
that's what they are, no?
I mean,
they could be tennis shoes, but
not
they're not.
really. No, I mean, no. I wouldn't say so. There's shoes for running, and then there's sneakers. It's 2 different.
Don't you call them sneakers? Your Yeezys.
Yeah, those are sneakers, but I wouldn't call them running shoes. I would never call them running shoes.
How do you think they are? Dancing shoes?
If I'm going to get a running shoe, I'm going to get a running shoe, like a shoe specifically designed for running. Like a sneaker isn't a running shoe. I just like that you said running shoe, AJ. It makes you sound.
It reminds you of like your dad.
I don't know. I don't know if he would say running
That's
shoe. He
old
might
school.
say sneakers because he's around me so much.
I'm sure Douglas or Pat probably say running shoes. I'm sure Angelo probably says running shoes.
I'm sure a lot of people say running
Johnny
shoes.
Would I bet
think it's
Johnny
interesting.
Says running shoes.
I'm just saying, I would say sneakers. I think a lot of people would call shoes that aren't, like dress shoes, athletic shoes, sneakers. But you call them running shoes. And I think if you're in your 80s, you call them tennis shoes. Right? Fred, am I right on this?
I'm a little bit with AJ still, because I would probably maybe call it running shoes. But I know what you mean. They're sneakers. Running shoes are more like the Nike. I forget which model, but yeah, I have running shoes.
Asics,
yeah.
Asics are running shoes.
Which I used to run.
Yeah.
And then there's sneakers. Sneakers in my head is probably more like a basketball shoe, but even there, man, it's more of a stylish shoe.
Yeah.
Patrick.
Now, Anthony McDonough, Patrick dropping a super chat saying running shoes. All right, Patrick likes the running shoes. Patrick's going with running shoes.
I knew it, man. I
say sneakers, man.
Knew it.
But Anthony McDonough in the UK says trainers. Now, I've heard that. I like trainers.
What?
But I've heard trainers, but
I've never heard of that.
Does anybody call them runners in the UK or just trainers? I thought runners was a thing too. Runners and trainers.
What?
And is there a difference? I've heard runners too. I think runners is a thing, but trainers I've also heard. Running shoes, tennis shoes, trainers. Sneakers. I say sneakers.
Espadrille.
I don't say espadrilles. Jorge Masvidal in the house. Game bread. Shout out to Patrick for the 777. You are the super chat leader of the night. Thank you, Patrick.
By the way, we all took Jake Paul. If everybody wants to know, we all went with Jake Paul.
Yeah.
We're unanimous in that. And I'm saying it as well because I went with Woodley on the last fight. But because of his performance, I don't think it's going to happen on this one.
Oh, my God. Are they going to do Jake Shields versus Jake Paul? That is so what they would do, right? That's very much
Jake
in
boxing?
Yeah.
It's just as bad as Ben Askren.
Well, I just saw him on the screen. I'm like, oh, man. I feel like...
Why?
I feel like because they like to, they put Ben Askren in there. They want to put non-boxers in there against Jake Paul.
Oh
Jake
God.
Shields is there. I can see Jake Shields boxing him. Why not? He's a former Strikeforce champion. Didn't he beat Woodley in the UFC? In Woodley's,
yeah, I think so.
Or did Woodley beat him? What was that?
Did it happen in Strikeforce or something like
was
that?
it
Maybe
in Strikeforce. I know they fought each other.
It's ridiculous, man. I mean, that's the thing. He's gonna pick who he can beat, and he's gonna beat big names in MMA that have absolutely the lowest grade of boxing skills out there. Ben Askren, man, you don't get when it comes to MMA or wrestling, he's able to perform because he's able to use, his techniques to get what he wants, which is take a guy down to the ground. But if you're going to go toe-to-toe with him, I mean, he looked like a penguin walking in, so boxing, and look what happened to him. And Woodley as well, too. Woodley can throw some heavy bombs when he's leading out to you, but he also could take you down, which is really his specialty, is wrestling. It's a different game, man. But boxing, man, I hope he's improved in the last, when did they fight last? Back in August?
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, man. But Paul, man, he's just strictly boxing.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think
just saying, Jake Shields did beat Tyron Woodley way back at UFC 161. Jake Shields in the house. Split decision. And it was controversial at the time, I remember. That was a big fight. It was like Woodley's second fight in the UFC.
Listen to this, guys.
What?
The song.
What are we listening to?
Real music.
I don't have I don't have the song on.
YMCA, man.
I don't have my sound.
The Village People.
Why do you have your sound on?
YMCA.
That's not fair.
Listen, man, I have everything CC.
He's coming out
here.
to YMCA by the Village People? Why? It's a strange choice. What is that?
Now, this is music.
Yeah, it is. YMCA.
This is where,
what's with the UK? What's with the Union Jack shirt for Jake Paul? Why is it? What's the deal? I guess that's for Anthony. He's got a Union Jack deal. Shout out Anthony.
Right, man.
Anthony says runners as well. Runners, sneakers, trainers. Yeah, runners and trainers out in the UK. Jake Paul wearing that Union Jack shirt to the ring. I don't know what it says Paul on it. I don't know what the deal is.
Well, maybe
you know what? Hey, it's got words for Tommy. Hey, Tommy, wish you something, something. I guess it's taunting Tommy Fury, or maybe this was for the Tommy Fury fight.
And probably what he was planning to wear.
Yeah,
it's pretty. Maybe that's
spent so much money. Probably like
might as well wear it.
Spent so much money on it. And says, "Fuck it, I'll wear it anyways."
It's ridiculous.
I don't know if that
he's wearing gear for another opponent. He's wearing gear to taunt a guy that he was supposed to fight, but whatever, just use that gear. What?
It's kind of disrespectful in a sense.
I don't understand.
Do you think it's disrespectful? He has the name Paul across like the Union Jack. I don't know, man.
3 knockdown rules in effect. Only the referee can stop the fight. Fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. Fight official after end of round 4. Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley 2, the rematch. We all have Jake Paul. Jake Paul by decision.
I don't know, man.
Oh, wait, Fred's switching. Flip-flop, Fred. Let's see it. What do you got, Fred?
Don't flip-flop, Fred. You've never done that
Freddy.
before.
Do it again, Fred. Let's see.
You've never done that.
Woodley by KO.
Don't do it.
What?
Woodley by KO. Come on. Do it, Tyron.
Freddy, you flip-flop. This is the fastest or the latest flip-flop that we've ever done on the show, man.
I love it.
Like, going into the round, man, did somebody dance? Did I miss something? Why did you change, Fred?
I mean, Woodley looks mean, man. He looks ready, man. Paul already looks winded from his walkout. Woodley looks
feeling, okay? Don't doubt his feelings.
I don't, man. Feelings.
Jake Paul doesn't look good. There is something about it. Jake Paul looks shitty here.
Maybe he didn't do enough blow, man.
I don't know. I feel like Fred might be right.
Come on, Dave. Team Fred.
Oh, apparently his shirt said, Tommy, wish you were here, but you're watching in the UK. Doug Hepburn's with you, Team Freddy. He's got Woodley by knockout. I'm staying with Jake Paul.
Now, I'll tell you what switched my mind is when they put those highlights from the first fight, and I saw like how close Woodley was to really hurting him, and it was only like a couple punch more, and that fight would have been over. So this time, I expect Woodley not to make the same mistake, man. Come on, Woodley.
I think Woodley's going to struggle getting in range like he did last time. Paul's going to keep those punches going to keep him at bay and just land more.
Yep.
And he's going to want to knock him out. I mean, of course.
And he's got a smiley face on his jacket with dollar signs as eyes. That's winner, man. He's ready, man.
That spells winner to you? I don't understand the correlation.
He's happy to make a lot of money.
What the hell are you saying?
Man, I mean, if I knew I was going into a fight and I got $500,000 if I knocked the guy unconscious, I would try very, very hard to knock the guy unconscious, right? I would be swinging for the fences. I hope somebody gets knocked out tonight. I think that would be fun. Like, Woodley has all the reason in the world to not lose by decision, to, go down on his sword. Like just
showtime.
Go hard or go home. Right?
I agree with you, man. I mean, I thought that was going to happen in the last fight, but it didn't. But I honestly think that he's probably going to want to knock him out. But you know what? Jake Paul was able to take punches, and he survived. So who knows, man? The chosen one. Let's see if he's chosen tonight to win. I don't think it's going to happen, man.
I feel like this could be a crazy fight. Like, $500,000 to knock the guy out should motivate Woodley to go after it and not just kind of play it safe and not get knocked out. Like, risk getting knocked unconscious for this. You've already lost a decision. Like, how much worse can it get? You lose another decision and then
redemption.
Plus, you got to watch.
Yeah.
Plus, you got to watch out of it.
Yeah.
Woodley's
making big money.
Woodley doesn't have anything to lose. Go for it.
Yeah.
Like, he's lost
Jake
once.
does look a little
Everybody
red.
expect him to lose again. He's already all sweaty, Jake, man. What's up, man?
Yeah, I don't know. He doesn't
already
look
been doing 3 rounds.
He looks sick.
Let's hope he doesn't have COVID, man.
Oh, my God.
Fucking AJ.
Hey, let's hope he doesn't have the Omicron, man.
It's possible.
The Tron virus.
All right, here we go. Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley about to start in the first round.
I say.
Here we go. Round 1. Woodley Paul. Round 1 of a possible 8. AJ, how you doing? You struggling?
No, I'm good. AJ's doing good. AJ's doing good.
Woodley coming in, looking all right so far. Landed a couple. Feeling each other out. Not much action in the first 30 seconds of this one.
4-0, Jake. 4-1, Woodley.
Yeah, that's right. That's their records,
Look,
AJ. What else you got for me?
If Woodley, nothing. I'm just saying that if Woodley ends up winning this, there's going to be a trilogy.
Yeah, for sure. If Woodley wins, there's a trilogy. And if Jake Paul's next opponent pulls out, there's a trilogy.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, Woodley's always there to walk in.
I mean, he stepped in here on short notice a couple of weeks out. I'm seeing these shorts from Jake Paul. I don't understand how they cost $1.2 million. They're like shiny, I guess. Maybe there's diamonds on them or something. I don't know.
Laced in gold, man. Who knows?
I can't tell. They just seem like normal
nice,
shorts. Tied up against the ropes now. A little clinching. Yeah, they look cool, I guess. They're like white shorts with like some shiny things on them. Wow.
I mean, there's 8 rounds to this fight, so let's see how he does.
They're starting to come out. They're firing a bit. Oh, Paul with a nice little right hand to the body. Straight right. And then a nice straight left to the head. Ooh. Paul with a short hook to the body. Short right hook, and then they tie up. Referee breaks him. Tells them to stop tying up so much, stop hitting each other in the clinch.
It's the same ref from the NBA versus NFL guy.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, man, this is
They seem tired already in the first round.
There's not too much happening right now. Round 1 in the books.
A lot of clinch.
Yeah, not much going on in the first round. I'd say Paul won, maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe? I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure. Like, that...
Yeah,
there was
didn't do much.
Not much going on there. Not much going on either side. I think you could call that round for either guy. Woodley kind of started off a little stronger. Jake
he did start off strong.
Jake ended stronger. It was neither guy landed much of anything.
It's weird. Like, he opens himself up so much, Jake, when he throws that body punch, that straight body punch. He sort of like brings his head in. I mean, any experienced boxer would have nailed him like with that counter punch. But it's weird. Like, he's going for these weird body shots straight down, and I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I think there was a commentator that said, who do you give it to? And he said absolutely nobody.
Yeah, it's hard to give that round to anybody. There was not much going on there.
A 0-0 round.
Yeah.
Not even 10-10.
Yeah.
0-0.
0-0.
No. Yeah.
Call it a draw. Oh, Jake Paul's getting more aggressive here, though. Second round is far more aggressive. Jake Paul throwing some wild looping right hands. Jake Paul's going for it here. He said he'd be disappointed if the fight didn't end within 5 rounds. Paul right now being shown as minus 265, the live odds favorite. Anthony's staying up till 5:11 a.m. out in the UK.
My goodness.
I'd imagine there'd be more people. There'd be more people staying up in the UK if it were Tommy Fury here in this fight and not Tyron Woodley.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Right. Second round here. Jake Paul is going for the knockout. Like, he's throwing some big shots. He's landed a couple, and Woodley is clinching up. Jake Paul is looking pretty good here in the second round.
Maybe it was just a game the first round, just a test to see, like, you know, what Woodley's going to do. Who knows?
Well, he's more aggressive. Man. It's an aggression thing. He's coming forward more. He's throwing more. Yeah. You guys all right? Fight started.
Yeah, I'm just watching. You know what I'm going to say is that one thing with this guy, Jake Paul, man, he could sell out like a stadium, man. God knows what the numbers are on this fight. This guy, man, he's something, you know, like, regardless, the guy makes more money than Woodley ever made in his career, just in the boxing fights. But Woodley's making more money than he's ever made in this boxing match than he's ever done in the UFC.
That's what he says.
And he was a champion, so, you know.
That's part of the hype. I don't know if that's true. Man. It's possible.
No, I believe it. I believe it. Look, if you're going to get like $500,000.
Whoa, like Jake Paul landing another wild combination. Looks like it stuns Woodley late here in the second round. This round's been all Jake Paul. Well, maybe a little clash of heads there, but Jake Paul just landing wild shots on Woodley, and Woodley not having much of an answer. Woodley not throwing a whole lot in that round. Just taking punches from Jake Paul. It's not a good round from Woodley. Just kind of a passenger in the second round, defending punches.
Yeah, passenger on the Titanic. That's what he is.
Like, you're right, Dave. I'll just say, though, there's still 6 rounds left. So if Woodley, you know, paces himself, maybe Jake Paul throwing a lot, that will slow him down. Because Jake Paul is throwing some big shots. He's not always hitting. Those shots take a lot of you still in the end. So there's 6 rounds left, man. Come on, Woodley. I still believe in you.
Jake Paul looks like he's hunting a knockout, right? That second round looked like he was looking for that knockout hard. He didn't get it.
He fought well, man.
He did seem to stun Woodley there. There was a moment. Woodley knows he needs to come back here in the third. He can't get into a deeper hole. Oof. Jake Paul landing
that
a nice
overhand
1-2.
right by Jake Paul, man, is just so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Woodley got a nice couple of combinations, but smokes.
Is that his hair or is he cut? I think it might have been a headbutt. Yeah, I think that was a headbutt.
I can't really tell.
Paul looks like he's cut over his right eye on his forehead. I think it was a headbutt. But now Woodley. Oh, Woodley with a big right hand. Jake Paul didn't like that. Now Woodley is coming after him. Nice uppercut from Woodley, and he's feeling it. This could be Woodley's chance. I don't know what caused the bleeding on Paul. I think it was a clash of heads. It's from
a headbutt.
It is, right?
I'm like 15 seconds later than you, so when you say something, I could see it. And, yeah, it was from a headbutt.
But Woodley landed some really good shots there. And now he's kind of taking his foot off the gas and letting Paul get back into the fight. And now Paul landing a good combination. Woodley looked like he had Paul into some trouble, and then he just kind of stopped punching.
Yeah, you know what? It almost looked like he indicated that he had a cut above his forehead. Just weird.
Jake Paul firing back, but those shots did not look very sharp from Jake Paul. Woodley looks sharper right now.
Jake Paul is breathing heavy, I feel. So I don't know. There's 4.5 rounds left, man. Jake Paul better pace himself, or he won't have nothing left for the later rounds.
I think he might be in some trouble right now. He's not looking good right now. This round has been mostly Tyron Woodley.
Mm-hmm.
It's an impressive change here in momentum. Woodley moving forward, landing crisp punches. Paul bleeding. It was from a headbutt, but he's still bloody. He still got hit hard enough in the head that it cut him, which hurts and could make you a little woozy too, right?
Blood in your eyes.
It's not like
blood in the eyes too. Yeah, it's not a positive. You know, okay, it was accidental. Maybe it wasn't a punch, but it's still damage on Jake Paul right now. And adding to the fact that Woodley is landing a bunch of punches too here in the third round. And it's over.
Look, Jake Paul, he's not doing too bad in this round. I like Woodley is definitely throwing a lot more than he did in the last rounds, but he's still very flat-footed. When you look at him, man, he's just like Jake Paul is circling, he's moving, you know.
2-1 Jake Paul right now. First 2 rounds Jake Paul, but right now third one definitely for Woodley.
Yep. I got Woodley in the
momentum.
Third. Yeah. I thought the first round was, could have gone either way. Second round, definitely Jake Paul. Third round, definitely Woodley. And you're taking a look at Jake Paul's face, not just the cut over his eye on his forehead, but also his left eye, some swelling underneath there on the cheek. He took some damage from Woodley in that round.
Yeah, but a headbutt, man, is just dirty, but
accidental. I don't think that was.
Yeah, no, it was accidental, but still, like, it's not like Woodley did any damage other than like giving him the cocoa bunt. But other than that, man, yeah, 2-1.
Did you not see Jake Paul's face, though? I mean, there was definitely not just the headbutt. He had some damage under his eye. Like, Tyron hit him with some punches.
Yeah, he got him with that solid right under the eye that opened up. But it's not like that bad. It's not that bad, Dave.
No, not yet. Still early, fourth round now.
No, you're right.
Woodley with a nice little uppercut. Woodley definitely has the momentum, and he's carrying it into this round. We got a fight.
Well, at least it's a fight now.
Yeah, that's it. Jake Paul's legs don't seem to be under him. Like he's trying to get his legs back, it looks like. He looks like he's struggling right now to be steady on his feet. He's throwing, but they don't seem to have much pop behind it.
But he's throwing. I mean,
I think he out-punched himself. Like, I think he threw too much in the second round. Like, he shot for the kill, and now he's sucking wind.
Yeah, he's breathing heavy. There's no doubt about it.
Chael Sonnen would say, like, in boxing, if you go for the knockout and you don't get it, often you'll lose the decision because you fucking, like, blew everything you had.
Yeah.
And that might be the case here, man.
He slammed Jake Paul to the ground. Paul goes in, clinches him. Woodley just takes him and slams him to the mat. The ref's like, nah, you can't do that. Take down Woodley. Fight would have been over. Paul, with no gas, Woodley would have taken him down. Knee mount, finish. It's over. Ground and pound.
Telling you, this ref probably tells to himself, like, what the fuck did I get involved in tonight, man?
I mean, this is interesting now. Woodley has been winning this round. Jake Paul looks like he's in trouble. This is the fight that I wanted to see the first time. Woodley with more aggression.
I don't see how Jake Paul goes another 4 rounds, man.
No.
If Woodley fights smart here, this fight is his.
Live odds right now have Woodley still as the underdog.
For real?
If you could bet live
it's 2-2.
now, it's 2-2. If you could bet live right now, I would bet Woodley right now. The live odds, I just saw them flash on the screen. Yeah, it's bullshit, you know. But I just saw the live odds flash on the screen here, and they've got Jake Paul still as a heavy favorite. You could bet money on Woodley to win. There's the slam. They're showing the replay of the slam. That was awesome. That was a highlight of the fight. I would take Woodley right now. Live odds. Oh, Jake Paul's got some sort of LED screens and stuff on his shorts too again, I think. He's got fancy stuff going on.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
I didn't see that before. I don't know. This fight's still going on, but I think it's 2-2 after 4 rounds.
Yep.
First 2 to Paul. First one was not that convincing. That 4th round, you know, not as convincing as the 3rd for Woodley, but still, I thought Woodley won the 4th. I think we have a tie fight right now.
And you're right. This should have been the fight that we saw the first time this came around. But Woodley, by throwing him down, just showed him that, you know what, if this was like my world of MMA, you'd be in trouble, bud.
Is that Kevin Owens?
Regardless of how much weight. What? Kevin Owens is there?
I don't know. It looks like Kevin Owens. I don't think it's Kevin Owens.
Your buddy, man. Didn't he say some good stuff about you and Johnny on his show at one point?
I don't think so. I think you're thinking of someone else.
No. Kevin Owens from the WWE, man.
I watched this afternoon Jingle All the Way with my daughter, both of them. The first one with Arnold and the second one with Larry the Cable Guy, but there was Santino Marella in the second one.
Oh, yeah?
What?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was him.
I haven't seen it.
Santino.
I mean, it's not great. But
yeah, well.
Such a nice guy.
It's something to watch.
A lot of clinching going on here. Just kind of pulling on each other. I wonder if this is part of Woodley's strategy to kind of tire him out, hold on to him, make him carry your body. It's not bad. Jake Paul does seem to be landing the cleaner strikes here in the 5th, though. Still not too much action halfway through. Not a bunch of stuff has been happening in this round. They've mostly been hugging. Getting close to each other, throwing punches that aren't landing, and then hugging. And then the referee comes in and says, hey, stop hugging so much. They're
Nothing
hugging
like
again.
but
It's like just this round has just been a big hug. So I guess Jake Paul wins the round so far based on hugging efficacy. He's really good at hugging. I don't know. If they hug the whole round, does that mean Paul wins? Because he's like loving. I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on here. This is the worst round of the fight. What the hell is this? The crowd is standing up. I don't think in excitement. I think in just bewilderment. They're like, what the fuck is this? It's a lot of hugging. Oh, there's Woodley landing a couple punches. Finally some punches. There you go. Now Woodley's starting to land. Oh, they hugged again. They're hugging. Real tight. Oh, my God. Anthony's saying
fatigue,
this could be a draw. Then we do a trilogy, then a possible 4th. Please, no.
He's got a point, man.
Please, no.
He's got a point.
Like, I'm not excited to watch any of these fights. The only reason we're doing a watch-along is because Fred decided we were going to. I don't know why Fred wanted to do this. 5th round. Who won the 5th round? I think Love wins in the 5th. The power of love? Fred? Oh, wait a second. We lost Fred's audio. This happened again. Fred, we lost you. We can't hear you. Did this happen? This keeps happening to Fred. We lose his audio, then he has to disconnect, and he comes back, and he's all good. Yeah, he'll be back.
Poor Freddie.
Yeah, it's weird. Who'd you see winning that round?
It was mostly Clutch. I don't know, man. It's weird. It could go either or on that one.
Yeah.
But if it continues at this pace, who was it? Was it Anthony that said it? That it could be a draw? I think he's right. This is the type of fight that if it continues like this, it's going to end up in a draw.
There we go. Fred's back.
Crazy, man. Freddie.
Yep.
There you go.
What happened?
Yep.
Not sure, man.
That's weird. Freddie's back. We're in the 6th round now of a possible 8. We only have to sit through technically 9 more minutes of this fight. So, guys, not so bad. We've almost made it through, which, I'm proud of. I'm proud of us. That 5th round was pretty awful. I don't know who won it. I would say
Dave,
it's a draw.
not about us, man. It's about our viewers, man. We do it for everybody.
I'm proud of us for making it through.
What else would you do on a Saturday night?
I mean, I could be asleep right now. Who knows?
Watching Christmas movies? Come on.
A variety of things instead of watching
this time,
bad
sleeping?
fight. It's not a great fight so far.
Hell?
There's been a couple moments of action, but hasn't been the best.
Well, it's been a better fight than the last one.
I don't know. The first round was pretty bad. The 5th round was pretty bad. I don't know. Not much has happened in the 6th round so far. Not much of anything. Just kind of standing around. Hugging again. They stand around. They get close. Then they hug. And then the ref says, hey, guys, stop that. And then he separates them. And he says, you fight, okay? And they're like, yeah, all right. And then they hug. Oh, they're hugging again. There you go. Like, there's only a few moments where they actually throw a punch, and then the hug begins. And I don't like that so much. It's kind of boring. Oh, there Woodley landing a nice little right hand, but then Jake Paul engaging into the hug. At a certain point, the referee, shouldn't he say, hey, guys, I keep telling you not to hug. How about you fucking stop hugging? Next guy that hugs, I'm kicking him in the balls. All right? That's the new rules for fighting.
I mean, they're both hugging, so it's hard to put.
Oh! It's over! Holy shit! Woodley just got knocked unconscious. Jake Paul with a huge overhead right knocks out Tyron Woodley cold. He just face planted. Holy shit!
What the fuck?
It's over. It's over.
What the fuck?
Oh my God! Knockout, cold, one punch.
What the hell, man?
6th round, knockout for Jake
and
Paul.
This was going to a draw, man.
Oh my God!
This was going to a draw, man.
Jake Paul just knocked out Tyron Woodley. Overhand right, boom, knocked him cold. Woodley went timber, boom, face first down on the mat, unconscious. Holy shit. Holy shit. Pretty inactive 6th round until the finish. Holy shit.
That was like
Woodley's just waking up.
A Christmas tree getting chopped.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man.
Whoa.
He got it with a solid right square on the jaw, man.
What?
That was just a beautiful, beautiful shot. But holy shit, Woodley is dreaming of a green, white, no money Christmas.
Woodley doesn't know where he is.
Gone.
He's
out.
Man.
Woodley. But he dropped his hands. You see how he dropped his hands? It's almost like he gave his jaw to Jake, and Jake took advantage of that. Gave him a solid right, man. Hey, man, when you see a guy drop like that, man, it's like he got shot. There's no joke. Holy shit, man. Woodley face first in the ground, man. His feet. Did you see that, man?
No debate. No debate after that one. Woodley can't say anything after that one. Jake Paul beat him by decision, and then tonight he knocked him out cold. Wow. The referee didn't have to intervene. No early stoppage. No decisions. No nothing. You can't take anything away from Jake Paul after that performance. You can't take a single thing away from him.
Hell,
he knocked Woodley out cold. cold.
Right
Jake Paul has
his
highlight moment right now.
Like Ben Askren,
wow.
man. They both got highlight moments. Bonne nuit, mon ami. That's what it is, man. That's the difference. I mean, look, it was pretty flat up to this point. There are certain points where Jake Paul was like really looking aggressive, but right there, man, it's over, man. There's no coming back on that. He went down hard, man. Wow. That's the end of Tyron Woodley, man. It's time to get into your rapping career because now you're done, man. You got dropped, and you got dropped hard.
Jake Paul.
Holy shit, man.
With the biggest
Did he
win,
belt him or what?
the biggest knockout, a huge right hook right to the temple, put Woodley to sleep, dropped him, face planted, down to the canvas. Big overhand right. Woodley drops that left hand. Jake Paul takes advantage. Huge overhand right that Woodley just took and went down. Sleeping on the mat. Jake Paul walks away with the knockout.
Listen, and you know what the craziest part of this is, Dave? I mean, Logan Paul is over there like, what the fuck? But the real truth of this is that this knockout, this highlight is going to be on the top 10 knockouts of the year, if not like of all time. Because to see a guy get knocked out like that, he didn't even buckle. His knees didn't even bend. He went down like a Christmas tree. Going down for Christmas Day, it was done, man.
You're right, man. Tyron Woodley just got made into a highlight. Tyron Woodley just got posterized. That will be a picture that will live forever. Jake Paul looking down, walking away at a beaten, unconscious former UFC welterweight champion Tyron Woodley. Whoa.
Yeah, technically he should be given oxygen. I saw something coming in, man. With a knockout like that, man, that guy has no idea that he's boxing. He's waking up and he thinks he's in Cancun having like a margarita. This guy...
As Woodley is falling, Paul's face is like amazed himself. He's like, what? I just did that? Like, he's like, oh! It's funny. I just saw the replay again. I'm like, that's a nice knockout. Congrats, Jake.
It's pretty shocking, man. And like, he did not come close to knocking out or really hurting Woodley that badly at any point in this fight. It's not like he was whooping Woodley's ass. He was, coming back. He was starting to come back in the fight, but there was a very slow pace. There was not much happening in the 5th and 6th rounds. The first round was pretty close. The second round was mostly Jake Paul's round. The third round was Tyron Woodley's. The fourth round I thought was Woodley's as well. We had the fight tied after the first 4 rounds, and it seems like the momentum was swinging in Woodley's favor. The 5th round kind of slow, not much action. The 6th round, still kind of the same thing, but all it took was one punch, and that shows you there's something dangerous about this guy. One punch knockout could put you to sleep. Jake Paul wanted to do it within 5, but I think he'll settle for the 6th round, a knockout of Tyron Woodley. Pretty damn impressive performance from Jake Paul. This is not knocking out Ben Askren. This is not the decision win over Tyron Woodley. This is knocking Woodley out cold. Wow.
Man, they always say that someone always has a boxer's chance, with a knockout, and Jake Paul proved that tonight. He just knocked out, man, a former UFC champion that's knocked out many people in his career. And here he is, man, dropping. I was listening to some of the boxing analysts right now, and they were like, holy shit, we've never seen a guy drop like that. And he's right. I've seen a lot of boxing fights. I've seen guys getting knocked out and whatnot. But I've never seen a guy come down like that with his 2 hands, like basically, like dropping. I mean, it's like a cartoon. This looks like a cartoon knockout. Holy shit, man.
Yeah.
That's it for Woodley.
You don't see knockouts like that every day. You don't see guys taking one big right hand and falling down like a tree falling in the woods. Like he had his legs chopped out from under him. This guy went face first, and I feel bad for Tyron Woodley because he's going to have to watch that, and people are going to play that, and people are going to send it to him on Twitter and Instagram because that is a highlight that will live forever. That is massive for Jake Paul. massive. Sucks for Woodley. Sucks to be the guy that got knocked out like that. Woodley looks real sad. He's got nothing to say. He looks very sad.
Jake Paul jumping up and down saying, Ariel, I told you I was going to fuck him up. I told you I was going to fuck him up. And I did.
Fred, you shouldn't have flip-flopped, man. We all picked Jake Paul to win this fight. We knew Jake Paul was going to win. I've been Team Jake Paul all the way, all right, ever since he beat Ben Askren. Let me tell you how much. I told you he beat Woodley the first time. I told you he beat Woodley this time.
I was Team Jake Paul also.
Team Jake Paul. We all love Jake Paul here.
I was Team Jake Paul for a while.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I was one of the first one to give him some props because after the Ben Askren fight, all you guys were hating on him, saying like, "Oh, he didn't beat anybody real," blah blah blah. But look, this is how much sleep I'll lose on Woodley's loss tonight.
Yeah.
0.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lose sleep. I don't really feel an attachment to Tyron Woodley, despite the fact that we are MMA guys. I do like Jake Paul, though. I think he's fun to watch. I mean, we don't do watch-alongs for every boxing match, but the Jake Paul fights, we come out. Everybody's coming out. Jake Paul means traffic. Jake Paul means numbers. Jake Paul means money. People want to see this guy. This guy is one of the biggest stars in combat sports right now, if not the biggest. If not the biggest.
Look, he's up there with Conor, and you know what the craziest part is that you could say what you want. Now he's 5-0, and he's got a knockout
up there with Conor.
On the top.
When's the last time Conor knocked somebody unconscious? Put Conor in there against Tyron Woodley. Remember when Conor was eyeing Tyron Woodley, when Conor was like trying for the 155 belt and Woodley was a 170 champion, and Conor was like, oh, I might go up and fight Woodley. Everybody was like, yeah, Conor, sit your little ass down. You would get smashed. And look what Jake Paul did tonight. When's the last time Conor McGregor knocked somebody out or beat somebody? I know, AJ, you think it was earlier this year. It was actually January 2020 when he beat Donald Cerrone, who no longer fights in the UFC. Jake Paul just annihilated Tyron Woodley, and 2021 is the year of Jake Paul. You cannot deny this guy anymore. 2021 has been this guy's year. He's the fighter of the year, and he is the biggest star in combat sports today. Mayweather's retired. Conor's got his legs broke, and he's not winning anymore. It's all about Jake Paul. He's the biggest star in combat sports.
So you're saying his next fight we're doing another watch-along. You won't blame it on me now.
Oh, we have to at this point. We have to. Fred, if you're seeing what I'm seeing right now, we're going to have to.
See, I was a visionary.
We'll talk about
I knew we had to do this watch-along.
AJ, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Do you understand why we're doing it? Well, we'll talk later.
Absolutely, man. We're talking this is Jake Paul marketing numbers, man. Jake Paul brings in numbers.
Yeah, we will do the Jake Paul watch-along for the next Jake Paul fights, and then any Jake Paul fight that ever happens forever, because Jake Paul is a superstar. I'm convinced after tonight. I am convinced.
But he
knocks out Woodley. He brings the numbers. He brings the people. Everybody wants to see this guy. He's huge.
And you know what? Listen, and that's the thing. I mean, like years back when he first came out, when I first came out and said, Dave, there's this guy Jake Paul fighting. I don't know who the fuck he is, but he has these huge numbers coming out on YouTube, and he's got a packed stadium. You know, my nephew was saying, the best boxer is fighting. I'm like, who is this guy? I never heard of this guy, Jake Paul, as a boxer. But here we are today in 2022, just getting ready for Christmas. This guy got the Christmas bonus of any fighter of 2021, 2022, and going into 2023. He's got a highlight reel knocking out Woodley like no other boxer's been knocked out. The guy is legit now because he's 5-0, man. And you know what the thing is that now everybody's going to want to fight him. And somebody said, I think it was Anthony online said that, you know what, Fury doesn't want to fight Jake Paul now because you don't want to be a highlight. And the thing is that the guy does have a heavy hand. He showed it tonight. You know, he was talking like,
who's next?
I don't know, man.
That's what I want to know. Who's next? Look, Forget Fury. Fury had his chance. He didn't make the walk. It's over. Forget Tyson Fury or Tommy. No, forget Tommy Fury. Bring on Tyson Fury. That's the fight I want to see.
How about Mike Tyson, man? How about Conor McGregor?
Now,
and that's Mike Tyson down the road.
Mike Tyson is interesting. I think Mike Tyson makes sense. Conor McGregor makes sense. Tyson might kill him, but I think, I don't know. Tyson's pretty old. Who knows? Jake Paul looked pretty good tonight.
Would kill him.
I agree. I think Tyson would probably kill him, but who knows? His brother, Logan, was talking about fighting Mike Tyson, so Who knows?
He's a bigger guy than Tyson.
Conor McGregor
Tyson's
makes
bigger
sense.
Than Jake.
Nate Diaz makes sense. But again, guys, Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor are both under UFC contract. There was a guy sitting with Nate Diaz who's a former Strikeforce champion who beat Tyron Woodley in the UFC, who is also named Jake. Jake Shields was right there.
Sense.
I know. He
if
was
that's
a
the fight,
guy.
I'm not doing a watch-along.
Yes, you are, Fred. You goddamn right you are.
Man, I'm going to tell you something. If Jake Shields
could be Jake
decides,
Shields.
Listen, if Jake Shields is that dumb after watching tonight's fight and decide that he wants to fight Jake Paul, he's going to be highlight reel number 2 because he's going to go down just as hard as Tyron Woodley went down. And he's going to go just as hard as Ben Askren went down. This is no joke. If you're not a boxer with some level of boxing expertise, don't get in the ring with Jake Paul. The guy has the best coaches and the best trainers in boxing to get him to where he is. Even though it looked a little bit slow in like the 3rd and 4th round, don't forget the 1st and 2nd round, Jake Paul did really well, and he came in with beautiful combinations. He had Woodley like rocked a few times, I thought, in my opinion, and all it became was a clinch game till it opened up, and look what happened. Tyron Woodley, man, kissed the canvas, man. He kissed that canvas, and even know he did.
Okay.
I'm telling you this.
I got an opponent for him.
Jake Shields.
Jake Shields. I think is ridiculous. I don't think it's going to happen. But there's another former UFC guy that's quite old at this point. He is, how old is Anderson Silva? 46, and he's been boxing. Anderson Silva knocked out Tito Ortiz in his last boxing match, which, who cares? But then before that, he got a decision win over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in Mexico in a fight that was very impressive that he actually won. And, Anderson is about Jake's size. He's quite a bit older, but he is definitely a great striker, a legend of the game. But we've seen him knocked unconscious before. That, to me, would be a mega fight because I'm a huge Anderson Silva fan, and I think Anderson Silva would give Jake Paul some real problems. I would like to see that fight next for Jake Paul. Huge knockout victory, though, for Paul tonight over Woodley, and just seeing that highlight of Woodley getting knocked out, it's just amazing. Just an amazing highlight to see over and over again. But I think there are a lot of fights out there for Jake Paul, but I don't think he's going to fight like maybe Tommy Fury. I think Tommy Fury is as close to a real boxer as he fights, but I don't think it'll be like I don't think he goes in there and fights Mike Tyson or Canelo or anybody like that anytime soon. No, but, Anderson Silva I think would be a real step up in competition though, right? I think that would be fun.
That's a good one.
It'd be tough.
I think you're absolutely right.
That'd be dangerous for him. Spider's big. He's a good striker, but hey, if it happens, that's one I'll watch for sure. But I think that's a little bit maybe too much of a step up. I would pick Spider definitely in that fight though.
You think so, eh?
I would
listen,
too.
He's got the reach.
I think I would too.
He's got the reach, and you're fighting a real boxer that knows the angles, knows how to cover himself up. He knows not to be a boxy like we saw like Ben Askren, even Tyron Woodley. Even tonight he was still boxy. But I'm looking at CBS Boxing and their scorecard. They're looking at round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10-9 for Paul. They had every round a win for Paul. Going into the 3rd and 4th and 5th round, it was Paul's round. So if this was going to go the distance, according to boxing analysts and experts, Jake Paul was going to win this by decision. But he won it in a fashion that you couldn't ask for better. That $500,000 went down the drain for Woodley. This guy, man, like I said, he's going to be on every highlight from now till next year. Jake Paul is going to be like boxing is like
massive highlight.
Boxing's like freaking king right now, which is crazy because like some people were saying, get a real boxer in there. Yeah, absolutely. At this point now, you're 5-0, knocked out. Well, so
not an ex-UFC fighter. Get a boxer in there, a real boxer.
Well, yeah. Listen.
Do you do the Tommy Fury fight?
Well, yeah. If you get a Fury, at least he's a boxer. And you know what? If Jake Paul beats Tyson Fury, he becomes even more legit and more marketable. The thing is that he's never going to get that credibility till you get a guy who's a boxer, not an MMA wrestler elite who has a pretty good punching game like Tyron Woodley. But they're not boxers. And not to take it away, because if it was an MMA fight, it would be a completely different story. Tyron Woodley would have massacred Jake Paul in 2 minutes. We all know that. Ben Askren would have massacred Jake Paul in 2 minutes. But in boxing, these guys don't have the hands, the eyes, or the experience, or the technical skills to go up against Jake Paul, who's really a boxer.
Okay.
Okay.
So how about
until that happens?
How about the guy who won tonight in the real boxing fight, Artur Beterbiev? The guy is he's light heavy. Was that yesterday?
But that's way too. That's too dangerous, man.
Yeah, do that.
Come on, the guy has 100% knockouts.
Yeah, throw him.
He's a real boxer.
Well, AJ wants a real boxer. Beterbiev is a real boxer. Throw 17-0, knocking everybody out.
That's the problem for Paul. That's the problem for Paul. He's such a big name that you want him to fight another big name. But if you put a big boxing name, he's not ready. He's not ready for a guy like Beterbiev or whatever you pronounce it.
Put him against the Canelo. Like you wouldn't.
No way.
Find him a journeyman, or find him an old boxer that used to. Who's that Chavez guy that Anderson Silva beat?
Chavez
Somebody
Jr.
like that, man.
Chavez Jr.,
some washed up fighter.
Well,
Maybe.
washed up. Why washed up? The guy is how old is Jake Paul? 20-something?
Because Jake Paul's not ready for the elite, man. Listen, look, it's a fun spectacle and all, but he's not ready for the elite.
Listen, you know that, I know that, every boxing fan knows that. But the thing is that for the public eye and the numbers that this guy brings, he's considered right now. If you talk to my nephews, they're going to tell me we were right, and AJ, you're wrong. Even if you have your show and whatnot, you're wrong, because Jake Paul is the best boxer out there. That's the problem, that the world is, TMZ and everybody across this world is going to be pushing Jake Paul as the best boxer in the world.
Yeah.
So until you get a real boxer in there, you know what?
I think you're confusing best with most famous. I think a lot of people think that he's the most
Dave,
famous. I
Dave,
think a lot of people think that he's the boxer that they most want to watch. He may be the
demographic,
like his belt says. Hold on, AJ. Like his belt says, most valuable boxer, and he may be the most valuable boxer. He may be the most pay-per-views and all that stuff, most interest in Jake Paul, but I don't think anybody confuses him with the best. I think that if you said who's the best, Canelo or Jake Paul, I think most people that know half a thing about boxing would say Canelo over Jake Paul. Shout out to Doug Hepburn dropping a super chat. He says, thanks for doing this, guys, and he'll be in touch with me. Thank you, Doug. Doug wants to see him fight Tyson, maybe. Anthony McDonough wants to see Floyd Mayweather. Maybe you do Mayweather versus Jake Paul. Got your hat, that whole thing. Logan fought Floyd. Maybe you do Jake versus Floyd. The Logan Floyd thing, wasn't that an exhibition? How about we do Jake versus Floyd in a real boxing match? Can we do that?
The problem would be the weight class, because Floyd usually fights at 140, 150. And Paul is, 180, 193, I think this was, actually.
And he walks around at 220. Come on, Freddie, that's the problem.
How you get a commission to actually sanction this, that's the biggest issue there.
No, you need a guy that's going to be in his weight class. And I think an Anderson Silva would probably be the most legitimate fighter at this point.
Spider would make sense,
skills. Man. Spider has the arm reach, he has the boxing skills, he has the name, and he's a former champion. And you know what? The MMA world has to redeem themselves in a sense by getting somebody like Silva to come in, who could actually probably outbox Jake Paul, and we know that. And he could go 8 rounds, he could go 10 rounds, he could go 12 rounds.
Yeah.
But right now, man, when I say he's the best, to a certain demographic out there, as of tomorrow, and I'm going to hear it from all under 21.
Sure.
Jake Paul is the best boxer in the world.
He is.
And I'm not joking
He's the
about
biggest star in combat sport, and I think it's a business. It's a combat sports business, and he's making the most business. So maybe he is the best. Very impressive knockout over Tyron Woodley tonight. A big overhand, big right hook, right to the temple, dropped Woodley, knocked him flat on his face, unconscious, snoring, asleep. Jake Paul knocks Woodley out in the 6th round. A huge victory for Jake Paul. Don't forget to like this video. Join us here at the Ringside Report Network. I know we got some new viewers here tonight. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and like the video. Subscribe, though. We need subscribers. We want to keep driving the message home that we are the spot for combat sports in the world. We're giving you picks. I was the only guy out there picking Juliana Pena to beat Amanda Nunes last week. We cashed in. We all cashed in on Derrick Lewis tonight by knockout. We all cashed in on Jake Paul winning, although I didn't put money on Jake Paul because I don't trust him enough because, I don't trust his skills. Man. But I should have put money on Jake Paul for the knockout that definitely would have cashed in. So it was very, very impressive stuff, and we are killing it over at bet99.com. Don't forget to use that promo code RINGSIDE over at bet99.com. Bet with us and get the best value, and you will get some big money picks from the Ringside Report Network crew. We also cover all the big UFC fights. We do the UFC pay-per-view watch-alongs for every UFC pay-per-view, and we're here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time talking mixed martial arts and everything in the world of combat sports. Jake Paul, Logan Paul, Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor, George St. Pierre, Khabib Nurmagomedov, all the John Jones you can handle on Ringside Report MMA every Thursday night at 8 p.m., and I will be back here on Monday night. Hey.
What the hell is that?
Monday night after Raw. I'll be talking some WWE Pro Wrestling Monday night after Monday Night Raw. Hit us up on Super Chat. Support the channel. We appreciate you. Go to join.ringsidereport.net to become a member of the channel. Join.ringsidereport.net. You can also go check out some of our merch. Thanks, Vinny. New subscribers coming in. Go check out some of our merch over at ringsidereport.net/shop. Thank you to Patrick C. Hamilton. You are the Super Chat leader of the night. And thank you to Doug Hepburn as well. Dropping Super Chats, supporting the channel. AJ, final words?
You know what? If it's not going to be Anderson Silva to come into the next fight who has some boxing skills, if people want to see a real boxer come in, get somebody like Triple G, man. Get a big name like Triple G to come in.
He'd destroy him. He'd kill him.
So what?
That's not good.
That's what you need.
No, listen, keep the Jake Paul money train going.
No.
He can't. Give him somebody else from the UFC. Give him Jake Shields that he can knock out again.
Come on,
it's fun.
Keep it going. That's worse than Ben Askren.
Nick Diaz, then.
Let's be honest.
Nick Diaz is the fight, I think. I think that's the most fun.
That could be.
Nick or Nate.
That could be the.
Give him a Diaz,
if you want a
brother.
boxer, if people want a boxer, get some. Some of these boxers have to start coming out and calling out Jake Paul. They got to start doing
Khabib.
that. And that's what I'm trying to say. No, Khabib is not the best hands.
Yeah, but so what? He's Khabib.
You get a guy like Triple G. You tell me Triple G, man, I'm telling you, I'll go into the arena and watch it live.
Hang on.
Triple G, Jake Paul, we're going.
You don't think Khabib could beat Jake Paul in a boxing match?
No.
I think he could.
And I love Khabib. In MMA, man, nobody's the best.
I'd go with
Khabib.
Khabib.
Is number one.
I'd say Khabib
would
win.
But in boxing, listen, man,
we're talking about maybe the greatest MMA fighter of all time.
Yes, his best boxing match was against Alia Cuenta, and that was about it, man. I'm telling you, his boxing has improved a lot, Khabib. But right now, look at the size of Jake Paul, and it's strictly boxing. Khabib is one thing. He takes you to the ground and destroys you. This is not the case in boxing. I want a boxer. I want a Triple G.
He dropped Conor.
I want a Canelo to come
Drop Conor with a punch.
He could drop Conor, but it's a different game, different angles, different way of looking at a fight. Get a boxer in there.
I was going to say, I want to see the numbers that this pay-per-view does. Because if it makes big numbers, man, come on, Dana, give us Conor versus Jake Paul, man. Sign off on it, Dana. That's it.
You know what?
No other words.
Awesome.
Nothing else, AJ.
Yeah.
Finish.
Irish boxing. No, you're right. You're right, Freddie.
Like the video. Right. Subscribe to the channel.
Show me the money.
I'll be back with the boys on Thursday night, 8 p.m. I'll be back with my brother on Monday night after Raw. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This has been the Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley Knockout Fiesta. Jake Paul, 2-0 over Woodley, 5-0 now as a pro. Knocks out Tyron Woodley in the 6th round. Woodley goes timber like a tree, face first, face plants, knocked unconscious with a big right hook from Jake Paul to the temple. Amazing.